all of you here today.
Coach, last season obviously was immensely satisfying for what you got out of that team. How does the satisfaction for you and your staff compare in terms of what you're getting out of a team so far this year that really a whole lot wasn't effective, not by you, but by national media, and you seem to have extracted every last ounce of ability? Is that as satisfying as last year, more so?
Well, I mean, I love coaching. I love doing what I'm doing, and every year is a new challenge, different challenges. You know, last year we knew we had a veteran team that had the chance to succeed at the highest level, and they were able to reach that. We fell short of one very special goal of winning the national championship, but overall it was a phenomenal year, a record-breaking year. This year has been tremendous fun for me, and we have a great group of kids. They work very, very hard. And they have more challenges than last year's team did. Each guy has a new role he's never been in before. Our two freshman guards, one of them crossed the Atlantic Ocean to get here. You've talked to him. What a nice kid he is, right? Mm-hmm. And he's trying to find out, how do I deal with the media and all this attention that I'm getting? I've never had this before. And then you've got Davon Reed, who's never played the point guard position. He's had to play the point at least half the time for us. So, you know, every player has challenges that he has to face and overcome, whether it be Ryan Brown moving from seventh man to the leading scorer on the team, Darius Adams going from injuries to playing, Tanya Jakiri go from backup power forward to starting center to sixth man, back to starting center. I mean, it's difficult, but what makes coaching so much fun is you see the growth in them. They keep working at it. You talk to them about their experience and how they're feeling. And my assistant coaches do a great job. We've got a great relationship with these kids. They listen to us. They learn a lot. Yesterday, did anybody mention what we did yesterday?
No.
No?
No.
I can't believe it. It wasn't tweeted out there or anything, Amy?
You guys kept it a good secret.
We took the team over to the Schwartz Center, which is the new academic center. It's absolutely beautiful, and there's a theater there. And we watched a movie. I actually don't know the name of the movie, but it was a documentary about Lenny Cook. Do you guys know who Lenny Cook is?
Yes,
A phenomenal high school player, one of the top 5 high school players in the country, very heavily sought after, who declared for the draft, never played college basketball, and never made it to the NBA. Did not get drafted, either in the first or second round. Ended up trying to get picked up, played in like the D League and the USBL and things like that. And he's now 30 years old. He just celebrated his 30th birthday party. And the documentary is about decisions that he made that he himself says, I didn't make the best decisions. So we wanted our players to have the opportunity to kind of see life from someone else's point of view, who has dedicated themselves to basketball without supplementing it with education. Because these kids have really sacrificed to come to the University of Miami because they want to get a great education. And we want them to get a great education. And so that documentary really put things in perspective.
Coach, you talk about Manu coming from overseas. He said that the only basketball he ever saw was Duke for North Carolina because that's all they had over there. That's all he saw in Belgium. How do you keep him level once he sees those guys on the floor playing against him?
Well, Manu now has played at Syracuse, at Carolina. He's gotten his feet wet. He's pretty much indoctrinated into the college game. So I think he'll be ready. He's playing very, very well right now. His confidence is at an all-time high. And quite frankly, every player on our team knows, and every coach knows, everybody in this room knows that Duke is a major challenge for us. They got the winningest coach in college basketball history. They're one of the winningest programs in college basketball history. They have a player who the NBA scouts are drooling over, and he's just a freshman. They got a lot of things going for them. So for me, it's exciting. It's a great opportunity. It's a great challenge for us and our program to play against them. But I will say this, we're in the same league. We're in the ACC. So it's not like we're intimidated or in awe of anybody that we might play, because we've been playing at the highest level. These kids have faced major challenges before.
Last year's game, can you use that at all as a motivator? I'm just, that you guys won so handily here and the
Do you
excitement.
think I'm Coach K? I think he can use it as a motivator.
Uh-huh.
No, I
Just to
watched
show them
it.
the energy in this building and everything
Yeah,
that happened that night.
I watched it the other night, and when I was watching it, I wasn't watching it from an emotional standpoint. I was watching it from a preparation standpoint. What did we do against them last year that was effective? And does it apply to anything we can do this year?
And the answer, you're not going to tell us.
Was no.
Completely.
No, last year we were playing man-to-man. Last year we had Kenny Kaji launching threes.
Yeah, he was 9 of 11 in that game.
Yeah, he was incredible. So,
And Durant Scott at 25. And
yeah.
So it's
None of
not.
those guys are here. So, and we're not even playing the same defense. We do certain things similar offensively, but they have a much different team. I think we're different. I mean, they've got Quinn Cook back, but I don't know who they're going to start at the two-guard spot. But if they start Matt Jones, he's a freshman.
Right.
Rodney Hood, he's a transfer. Jabari Parker, he's a freshman. So they've got a very different team. So I think that's one of the things I've seen in the ACC and in the high major schools that's somewhat disappointing to me is there's not as much of an upper class influence as you'd like to see from the best teams. You don't have that many juniors and seniors running the show and freshmen sitting behind waiting their turn. It's kind of like going through a drive-through fast food restaurant. I can't wait. I've got to play now. And you got to recruit that way because those are the best players. And everybody in our league would love to have a McDonald's All-American. But
And I guess preparation is harder too, because when you're playing, let's say, George Mason and you're coaching there, you're playing against similar lineups. You know some of the players as you're preparing for the next year, but this time each year you're facing a completely different lineup.
very true.
So last
It's-
year's scouting report is not really.
It was worth my time to look, but it's very, very different. In fact, the comparison I would make is not our game against Duke last year. They don't really play with a five-man like Plumlee or a four-man like Ryan Kelly. They play with athletes who can run and jump and shoot and steal the ball and take you one-on-one. It's very, very different. And I'll tell you what, it goes unmentioned, I'll say. I don't hear people talk about this very much, but all the great coaches we have in this league, they're all having to make tremendous adjustments every year. It actually surprises the heck out of me. I could see it from a distance, but didn't realize how much of an impact all these new guys would have. You think they just come in and they're kind of embracing the program and embracing the philosophy and coming in and doing all the things the veteran players are doing. It's not true. It's not true. These guys come in with their own goals and agenda, and reporters like yourselves are asking them, "Are you one and done? You going to be leaving at the end of this year? Or you think you'll be the first player chosen?" I heard somebody ask one of the players in the country about that. That's very distracting to a kid, to his teammates, to the coaches, And dealing with that is very, very challenging. I didn't ever have to deal with that until last year when Shane started to play as well as he did. And in February, someone said to me, "Do you think you'll lose Shane?" And I was like, "You mean to an injury?" To the NBA? And I was like, I hadn't thought about that. You know what? He's playing good enough that the NBA might be a possibility. By the end of February, I was saying to my coaches, we better start looking for a point guard.
Jim, most pleasant surprise for you on this team from a player standpoint? Has there been any particular player who's done something that's pleasantly surprised you?
I think all of them have pleasantly surprised me. And I mean that honestly, in a sense, their attitudes. Attitude has so much to do with being successful. And we have such a good group of kids, and they have such a positive attitude. Losing is not easy. It's not like we're where we were last year at this time, fighting for national recognition. We're kind of fighting for survival. We're trying to compete with the best teams in the country and trying to figure out ways to overcome our limitations. And most of our limitations come from lack of experience. So we're trying to give them that experience and give them the plan to execute offensively and defensively. And for my staff, that's been challenging to come up with the right plan, the right strategy for this group.
Coach, you talked about how your players have been progressing and learning and getting better. How does a chess match like this with you and Coach Krzyzewski, what does that do to help progress you and your staff and get better?
Well, the one thing about the Duke program and the way Coach K has built the program, there are so many consistencies so that you can look, let's say, like you would at a player like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's the greatest scorer in NBA history. How many different ways did he score? Just a couple. Sky hook, little turnaround jump shot. Duke is that way. There's a pattern to their success. They play incredibly strong, aggressive, hard-nosed man-to-man defense. And on offense, they attack you with the ball, with ball screens, screening for shooters, motion offense. But almost every game you see the same things. There's some coaches that have a lot of variety to their game plan. And that variety might be, we're going to play man-to-man, we're also going to throw in 2-3 zone, we're going to throw in a full court press, we're throwing a 1-3-1. On offense, we're going to run 5 or 6 different offensive sets. That's not Duke. Duke is what you might describe as the best plain vanilla that every high school coach would like to teach his kids. How to play great man-to-man defense, how to play offense and be a really good attacking team.
Do you feel even though you're going up against this plain vanilla, does it make you a better coach every time you go up against a team like this?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to be the same coach probably before and after the game. Do I learn things from watching Duke video and stuff? Yes. Do I try to learn from that and apply it to our own program? Yes. I think one of the funny things that was created last year when we played Duke at home here, our players slapped the floor. And everybody thought that was like a slap at Duke. If anything, it was a compliment. And I can't remember when I started doing that, but it was at least 25 years ago, where our players slapped the floor. But in practice, never did it during games like Duke does. And I didn't instruct them to do it, and most of my players didn't even know that that's what Duke did. It was one of our great football players. Who was that? Warren Sack was sitting courtside, and he told
Telling
Shane
him
Martin. So my point is, Duke has developed a certain image and reputation, and it would be foolish of any coach at any level not to pay attention to how they do things, because they're so successful at it.
Coach, what do you think of Andre Dawkins? He took a year off and just how he's doing this year?
I think he is a threat the moment he leaves the locker room. He shoots in rhythm very, very quickly and from very, very deep. And when he's got it going, he really helps stretch the defense.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.